Yeah, no, so thank you for reaching out and being able to set up this call. I'm Julia Verhaar, the Acting Secretary General. So thank you so much for reaching out. And we've had a discussion about the fallout that happened yesterday. And we're really looking to have this call to see how we can move forward, because of course it's been none of our intention was to have this happen. And we really want to make sure that Mr. Navalny, his case and his unjust detention is the forefront of what we are doing. So we're really hoping to have this chat to understand where you are and how we can, it sounds a bit maybe strange, but how we can use this as a way forward to making sure that Mr. Navalny's case is actually at the forefront of what we are doing. And we have some ideas how we can do that, but we really would have this opportunity to hear where you are and how we can work together in this way. So that was the intention. So I hope that resonates and is in line with your expectations.
Mm-hmm. Dear Secretary, thank you very much. But let me tell you my concerning about yesterday's case. What happened in Russian media? Actually, I have read that about canceling of the status of Alexei, that he has lost his status prisoner of conscience. So I would to make sure. So what we could do to change the situation, actually.
Please, maybe. Sorry, Marie, would you like to come in, or would you like to hear more from Leonid?
I just want to say quickly, my name is Marie Struthers. I'm based in London with Dennis, whom I know you have just spoken with briefly, and together we work, Mr. Volkov, on the whole of the 12 former countries of the Soviet Union. I want to say, as Julie was saying, it was really our best intention that we had at heart and in mind when we immediately declared Mr. Navalny a prisoner of conscience on the 27th of January, and we we regret that we perhaps applied this term too quickly, but it was really cognizant that we may have done more harm than good at this time, but we have some ideas about how we can hit back, if you like. So I just wanted you to understand that we're coming from that place of sincerity.
Yeah, I understand, dear colleagues, but I would like to know how we could hit back his status, because it's really important. What should we do?
There's no other case in Russia that is more important at this moment, both in terms of what it means for everyone in Russia and what its success in the case means, which is, again, one of the reasons why when on the 17th Alexei was arrested as soon as he was at the border in Sheremetyevo, we announced him a prisoner of conscience, because we wanted to make the strongest possible statement and make the strongest possible language, which we could, and this is the language of prisoner of conscience, to emphasize this. I understand you had conversations, including with some of our colleagues, who tried to explain what happened. And one of the problems with the use of prisoner of conscience, that it is a very strict definition, which, whilst the decision we took at the level of our team absolutely consists of internal discussion and soul searching for reasons that I know that you know, where it was after very forensic examination of what is in the public that Alexei has said in the past, that the definition of prisoner of conscience wasn't met so long as some of his past pronouncements were made in the way they were and never retracted. So when you're asking whether we can change our decision, well, let's imagine for a second that this was possible. I'm not sure it would do any good to anyone for Amnesty then to flip once again and say, no, we changed our mind, he's a prisoner of conscience. That's not going to help Alexei, even if we could come to this decision. What I think can help is finding the best way forward and finding the right And for this reason, we want him out as soon as possible and use every possible venue to put pressure on the Russian government to get him out. And I think that's the way forward. And if we could be, could agree on that and not be seen as in disagreement here, I think that would be a very important thing to happen. So when again, rather than looking for a way in which a decision could be changed, I'm suggesting we find the best way to project our message, which is, again, free Navalny now. I'll stop there.
Yeah, I understand you very well. I understand it. You know that, so if I understand everything right, so you think that there is no any way to get back that status, right?
Well, it's not a status as such. It's not really even judgment on Navalny himself. It's a judgment on the Russian government, which means it puts people in prison for what they say, not for what they do. That point didn't change. What we also cannot change is that when Amnesty uses this language, it has to take into account both absence of crime and the reason for imprisonment, but also what the person in question has done or has said. And because that is, we can't change the history, and I think that's also Alexei Navalny's own words. To change the decision as such wouldn't be practical, but it also wouldn't be good for anyone, I think. So I think the best thing we can find is find some way to move forward and hopefully do it together and along the same message that Amnesty remains fully behind its call that Navalny should be immediately released.
How do you see we can move in this direction to release him from your side? Because you know that I have a lot of conversation with my colleagues in European Commission and many other organizations. So I just collect all proposals from everyone, and I want to know what you could propose to us.
Okay, colleagues, do you want to discuss this? Again, I would like to be able to walk out of this meeting and say we've spoken and we all agree. Nothing changed. Amnesty remains firmly behind Navalny. Amnesty remains firmly behind the call. This man is innocent. He must not be in prison. Russian government, get him out. And then I hope we can speak to exactly all the same interlocutors, publicly and privately, in European Commission and elsewhere, and confirm this message after you, so that all of them would feel nothing in practical terms, as far as Amnesty is concerned, has changed.
I'll just try to speak very pragmatically. We would like to today start a very short, powerful, clear social media campaign to emphasize exactly what Denise has just said, that Alexei Navalny is unjustly sitting behind bars and every measure must be taken to get him out as soon as possible, and the whole of the Amnesty movement is rallying behind that. So that's something we want to do literally in the next 1 to 2 to get away from around discussions around prisoner of conscience status. But it would be very helpful if other quarters could push the same message. So to steer the conversation away from prisoner of conscience, political prisoner, whatever it may be, that rather.
I know that probably have you read our Russian Twitter network?
We do.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you have a lot of critics there now.
Yes.
Even my Twitter, I'm sorry about that, but I have wrote that you have ate a lot of shit and made your decision. So, but it's true. Our political activist, Yulia Latinina, has wrote that you have supported and gave a status of prisoner of conscience to some of Arab terrorists. Our ex-mayor of Yekaterinburg has wrote that your organization is a prostitutional organization, and probably you have remember when Alexei has wrote the same things too. I understand that. You know that it's a Twitter style, and I know that the start was made by journalists from RT, Russia Today, and so you know my opinion about them. So when I have wrote that, so it means that my relation to all their media. So that's why I was so radical.
Sure. If I may recap, and just on this, we don't speak to Russia Today, by the way. We don't give them interview. We don't respond to them. Unfortunately, here a national officer section did, and sadly it exposed some of internal discussions. Leonid, we're conscious that what happened has done a lot of damage, and when you were angry, you were entirely justified. And frankly, that damage, I mean, it's done damage to us as well, because as I said, currently in Russia, there is no other case that's more important to support and more regretful to undermine, and that's what happened unintentionally. So if we can move forward, that's great. We would like to move away the media attention from Amnesty's internal decisions and the language it uses and how it comes to them, because this will do more damage again. Why this person, why that person, how does Amnesty come to it? And frankly, these are difficult processes for us as well. Let's move it to, again, the message is Navalny, get him out. And our press office will get involved, help Julie formulate that message in response to your Twitter. And then if we can be publicly seen to be on the same side, I think this is the best we can do for Alexei.
I just want to add something. I know that the problem now, there are some problems in Latvia with propagandists media, including Sputnik TV and other. I hope that you understand, though, so we don't need to help these persons to release them from that criminal records and that investigations. You understand that people who work there in Latvia under brand of Sputnik or RT, they did not deserve our help.
Okay, I think, and I can see my colleagues are slightly confused. Leonid, you're talking of arrest of a couple of journalists from Sputnik in Latvia, which is something we're watching, but we haven't responded to this, and we had no intention to respond, at least for now. So you don't need to worry that we will say something on that. And it's, I mean, again, we'll keep watching. We'll make judgment as and when it's due. But for now, don't worry. That is not something that we're going to talk about. And more generally, sorry, not more generally, we don't speak to Russia Today. We don't speak to Sputnik either.
You should understand me. I'm pretty angry because of them. I'm pretty angry.
Right. Well, thank you then from me, certainly, to all of you, and to you, Leonid, and to Julie, who was able to join us in these difficult times very quickly. And then we've agreed next steps and no hard feelings. Let's just move on. Yeah.
Thank you.